Separate your knees out wide, place your forehead on your yoga mat. Stretch your arms out really long. In child's pose, Ananda Balasana, just starting the process of letting go. What is it that you want to let go of? You know, that's really up to you. Maybe it's some stress or some fears, some attachment to old routines and patterns. Maybe it's just the stress to constantly be doing something, right? A big invitation right now energetically for us to have different routines, slowing down a bit, you know, reassessing how we move through our day, move through our lives. And so with your forehead on your yoga mat there, you guys, in your child's pose, start to roll left to right. So the forehead will get a little massage on the ground. And so you're just working this front space, the forehead, this place that can hold a lot of stress, even a lot of crunchiness. Melissa. And just a nice little rock, as many as you wish, and then coming back to some stillness when you'd like to. And it's a rocking, kind of like a baby, right? We do these actions for the little ones, for babies, for toddlers, to comfort them, to give them a sense of space, to relax. And so we get to do that with the vinyasa, with the yoga. Staying in child's pose, we'll add a little side bend, okay? So just lift your head a little bit, walk your hands all the way to the right side of your mat, put your left hand on top of your right hand, and then come back down towards a child's pose shape, but the left side ribs are super open. Yeah, like that. And then take about 5 breaths in this shape. Really emphasizing, you know, in the side bend of child's pose, how the stretching can be just as much about the action and the intensity, and also about the yin, the softening. And we're going to work and balance the two as best as we can today. So any given yoga pose, you know, we're not overbearingly doing it, nor are we under holding it. There's a sweet balance we're going to look for. And on your next inhale, slowly lift the head off the earth, crawl over to the left, off the edge of the mat as far as you like. Right hand goes on top of the left hand, right rib stretch, the forehead returns to the ground. And now, as you're breathing here, notice that the breath can be really active, right? You can intentionally work a big inhale, but if it's too tight, the ribs actually are limited. So soften the ribs as you inhale, specifically on the right side right now, but also the left. And you'll notice a lot of space happen for you. In that healthy balance, the yin, the yang, the active deep inhale, balanced with the softness on the outside. Nice. And then we'll come back up with the head, come back to center, and come up to all fours position, hands and knees. Hi, yeah. Camera's on, love it. Cat-cow, start to move and flex your spine. So you go at your own rhythm. You inhale, open the belly. Exhale, you can round, tuck, and curl. And you can also start to take this into all different types of planes. You can go to the sides again, similar to our little warm-up not too long ago, where the side ribs get an openness. And the yin-yang I want you to play with here as you do this for another few breaths is observe this. The more stable your arms are, really tone the arms, grip the fingers a little bit. And the more stable the legs are, activate your leg muscles, your ribs will have more placation, more freedom to move. The hips will feel more freedom, right? Wag the tail, arc the head. And this is a thing we'll work on today. The more that our edges, the arms and the legs, the more we can stabilize that, the opportunity to have more safe mobility created in the vital part of the body, tail to crown, is better and safer. Downward dog, come to center, curl your toes, lift your hips and push the hips high as your heels come down. And I invite you to pedal out your feet a few times. Working again as you're in your dog, super strong arms. So there's an energetic, you guys, just a little bit like you're pulling the ground towards you. or like you're pulling yourself up a rock climb. And you'll get a tonus, not just in the upper neck, which tends to dominate our yoga, but all the way up into the armpit. And it's really stable, healthier on the wrists and all that. Cool, let's go backwards with the hands. Crawl all the way back to your feet, bending the knees as much as you like. Hold opposing elbows and do a ragdoll. Shake out the ribs, let your head relax down. And do a little sway left to right. And again, exhaling, you guys releasing what it is you really want to let go of today. And we'll come to center, bend the knees, sweep your arms forward and up on the inhale, chair pose, wide-legged. Exhale, reach the arms back, stay in chair, airplane arms. Do that a couple more times. Inhale, lift the arms, big stretch. Exhale, sit into the hips, wake up the pelvic floor. One more time through, inhale. Exhale, reach backwards. We're gonna stand up, take a baby back bend. Keep the legs super strong as you rise up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Narrow the feet, either just a little closer, hips distance, or if you prefer all the way together, that's cool too. Samastitihi, take 5 breaths of equal length. So the palms help us find the center of the heart. As you inhale, count to maybe like 5 or 6, and then ask yourself to do the same on the exhale. So there's an equanimity, if you will, or a rhythmic nature to the breath that isn't a result of being stressed or distracted, but it's so focused. And even if your focus only lasts 20 seconds before your mind starts to run away, like a lot of ours does, that's better than nothing. Right? So gratitude for what you're able to cultivate. Allow the eyes to softly open. Again, chair pose, sweep the arms back behind you, sit into the hips super strong. Inhale, arms to the sky. Twist to the right, take your right arm behind you, the left arm comes forward. It's just one breath, that's the exhale, twist. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center, a couple more on your own. Exhale to twist. Try to keep the hips square so your knees would stay equal. Inhale, exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, one more time, each side. Really work your core from the belly twist. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold, touch the ground. Inhale, lift halfway. And then crawl forward, downward facing dog. Take the hands to the front of your mat. From here, start to pull forward to plank. And it's kind of fun to do it like a wave. So lift the heels, lift the tail, and pull forward the heart and the head last. Good, go back again, down dog. Then try again like a wave from the feet, lift the heels, pull the belly in, and then reach forward, ribs, and then skull. On your own, a couple more times. Plank to down dog. Yeah, simple warm up. It's great to warm up the wrists, but also notice again this uniform tone. So you have to actually pull your hands back a bit, especially when you're pulling forward. So your armpits, they get more toned, even on the tricep side. Cool, next time you come forward, let's make it easier. Put the knees on the ground and then lower down all the way to your belly. Point your feet, hug your legs towards each other, baby cobra. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower your chest. Repeat a few more times. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, lower. You guys keep going as I peek at you and guide you. So let the eyes close and avoid overusing your neck, right? So the hands are barely off the ground. Yeah, not too pinched back in the ribs. In fact, widen your elbows a little bit. Ask the back side of your ribs to get bigger. And so it's like you're floating up like a balloon. And then exhale, place the hands really wide, wider than a mat. Elbows wide. Inhale, push up to a super wide-armed cobra. Inhale. Exhale, return to the earth. We're going to do that one more time. If you want a little more challenge, bring the hands a cinch closer. You don't need to. Inhale, arms up or ribs up. And we'll stay here, strong legs, and twist a little right and left. Deep hip stretches, and it's just testing dynamism. If there can be a nice fluidity, it means your arms are toned, your spine has permission to really open safely. Versus if your arms were rather sleepy right now, there wouldn't be quite as much structure for the ribs to lean into. As you go back down, let's try to make your back even longer than ever before. Pull the heart forward. Pull the heart forward. Go slow so the spine can get super long. Get ready to do plank. Curl the toes under. Plant the hands below you. Use your knees if you like. Otherwise, plank pose to your downward facing dog. Bring the feet a little closer together in dog. And then lift your right leg up. Bend the knee. Open the hip out to the sky. Roll your ankle in a couple circles. Go both directions with your ankle. And I'm gliding the foot through Crescent Lunge. Place the foot softly in between your hands. Inhale, twist, or reach the arms up rather. My brain is one step ahead. Now twist to the right. Take the right arm back and the left arm forward. With your eyes, find something to focus on to the right side of you. So the drishti will help to keep you steady here. As you exalt it, take your left arm up and the right arm can hook back on the left thigh, maybe even the left outer hip. Gaze more to the right and ask for a separation, hips to the earth, ribs to the sky. Belly super long and open, even as it's toned. And cartwheeling to the earth for a flow. Safely frame the foot first. Step back to plank. If you want to do a one-legged chaturanga, the option's always there. Inhale, float up, up dog. Exhale, push back, downward dog. Narrow the feet just a little. Lift your left leg, bend that knee. Roll open the hip, and then focus on some ankle circles. Left ankle, big shapes. Retrace the same circle in the other direction. And using an exhale, step all the way through in between your hands. Inhale, Crescent Pose, arms reach up. Back heel has a lot of lift to it. So one of the many benefits of Crescent, beyond the obvious lunge benefits, is the foot stretch for the right. So you get the toes at a nice stretched angle. And twist, left arm back, right arm forwards. Find a drishti to the left of you with your eyes. So help your balance. Left hand behind, right arm up and back, Exalted Warrior. Work on sitting down deep in your hips, friends, but then also reaching up high with the ribs. So there's a continual separation. Spine gets longer. One more inhale. And exhale, cartwheel hands to the earth. Step back to take a flow. One-legged chaturanga if you want to heat it up. Otherwise, put both feet down. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. You guys stay in dog. Take 5 deep breaths. Yeah. And so just a heads up, if you're kind of new to my online classes, I don't demo every pose. One, so I save my neck. I want to project at the camera, not have to tweak my neck too much while in down dog. But also I love to see you guys and give individual feedback. So, if you're ever confused, you can just peek in and notice what the others are doing. All right, on the inhale, let the heels go really high. Go for that good foot stretch. Exhale, bend your knees, step or jump forward to the hands. Inhale, take a half lift. Hands compress on the shins to get really long in your spine. Exhale, make a fold. We'll do a chair pose again. Bend your knees and lift your arms. And the feet can be all the way together if preferred, or a little bit of space is okay too. I like space personally. Twist your right arm back again. And this time we're gonna hold it. Now just think about the principles of your twist. Ideally, it initiates at the T12 line of your body. So it's kind of the center, the base of the thoracic. Then the head follows versus yanking your neck. Inhale back to center, chair pose. Exhale, other side. Let the head follow the guidance of the ribs. So you can almost think of 3 main sections as your ear. Your hips, rooting. Your ribs, big, lifting and turning. And the head following that. Inhale, stand up, baby back bend, arms reach up. Exhale, wrap your right arm underneath your left. Eagle arms, but not legs, just do your arms for now. Go up and down with your elbows. High to low. And make it a full cat-cow. So inhale, it can be a little back bend, keeping your legs really strong. You guys can see. And exhale, do a round squeeze. And you want to create this really good feeling. Keep going up and down with your breath. Of when you're going down, you want to really pull the elbows in, and you'll compress your lymph nodes in the armpit area, which is really good for our elimination of toxins through our lymphatic system of the body. Now find center, okay? Bend the knees a little bit. Again, we're not doing the full pose yet. I want you to arc to the right side. So the hips stay rooted, kind of a flirtation with the chair pose. And now as you arc to the right, try to lift the left base ribs higher. Let the head tip to the right and open fully through the left side of your lungs. Push the arms into each other. Left arm pushes down into your right arm to get more growth. It's self-leverage work. Inhale back to center, unravel your arms. Reach them up towards the sky, little safe back bend, inhale. Exhale, left arm under right, eagle arms, not the legs yet. Up and down you go. Little back bend, be safe. And then a crunch, really pull it in, let the armpits squeeze the lymph glands, lymph nodes. Two main areas, you have them all over your body, these lymph nodes, but two main areas where you have the most, the armpits and the inner thighs. That's why a lot of these yoga poses where we're intentionally squeezing and compressing and then releasing is so healthy. It's why it feels so good. It's not just endorphins, the body craves. Now, get a little bit into a chair. I really just want you to feel rooted by bending the knees and then tip to the left side this time. And so it's a side bend, but think about less about how far you go. Nobody's taking your picture here, so it doesn't matter physically what it looks like from the outside. Think about the inside. Push your right arm down into your left arm to gradually increase, a slow increase of the right lung space. Let the head tip away from the whole thing, giving lots of space to the right side. Inhale, come back to center, unravel, baby back bend with the arms above your head. Inhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips, safely land to the ground. Inhale, halfway lift, stretch out your back. Exhale, Chaturanga, step or hop back, move with your breath. You can always do Chaturanga with your knees down first. If you want to simplify the movement, that's totally cool. Now we go to downward dog with the right leg up. Keep the hips square this time for a challenge. Yeah, keep it there, square the hips. Left heel pushes down as your right heel presses up. Inhale. And again, crescent pose. Take the foot all the way through in between the hands. Inhale, stretch the arms up high. This time, mix it up. Warrior two, spin out to the left side, extending your arms wide. A couple breaths here, rooting through the legs, rising through your crown. Flip your right palm up, reach forward, up and back, reverse your warrior. Your left hand can either land on the back left leg there, or you might enjoy hooking it behind your back, getting somewhat near the right hip, or maybe even the right inner thigh. Side angle, put your right elbow upon the knee, and extend your left arm above the head, crossing it over the ear. Twist open. If you want more depth, the right hand could go to the ground. A little more depth. I'm going to stay here just as we still get warmed up. All right, listen carefully. Hands come down, but we're not going to step back yet. Just take the left heel and swivel it up again, okay? Now take your right heel and lift that up high. You guys see that? My right heel is in the air. Now get low with your chest. Put the right arm under the leg. Right arm under the leg. Grab the back of the heel and start to dip your right shoulder underneath there. So that's why you lifted your heel, was so you'd have a little more clearance. Then put the heel back down, hands to the earth. One's on the right side of the right foot, the other's on the left side there, where you can airplane. Arms reach out to the sides. Again, the more stability you have in the legs, stronger legs will allow the spine to get longer. You come out nice and slow, swim through the center, step back, Chaturanga flow. One-legged if you want it. Upward dog. Till your downward dog. And then square the hips, lift the left leg, and just hold it square. So personally, I think these ones are harder than rolling the hip open because the desire is to get more height, so we tend to lose alignment. So spiral that inner left thigh up so the hips are square and it's more of a stretch. Okay, exhale, bend the knee, lightly place your foot between your hands. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Crescent pose briefly. Into warrior two, spin out to the side. Tone the arms. Think of the work we did on the ground when I was asking you to pull the arms towards you so your armpits would tone. You can do that here. It's isometrically. It's as if you were pushing down on the two really tall countertops. The underarms get more tonus, the ribs can have more space. Versus sleepy arms, ribs get tight. Flip your left palm up, reverse your warrior, broadening the whole left side of you. Right hand might hook behind your back if you wish. And a side angle pose, elbow to the leg, right arm all the way by the ear. Let's go for the full extended side angle. Get lots of space in the ribs. And optionally left hand to the earth if you want it. Okay, now we're gonna touch the ground. We're gonna stay in our lunge. Just swivel the right heel back up. So basically your legs are in crescent lunge on the low body. Lift the left heel high, dip the left shoulder underneath there. Dip, dip, dip. Get it as much as you can. Left hand now goes to the floor, out to the left side of you. Left heel comes back to the earth. That's a great stretch. Otherwise, try airplane arms. Left arm and right arm reach out to the sides. So this is a great entryway pose to a lot of these deeper binds that we get into in yoga. Why? Because your muscles have to be active right now, right? You're doing a lunge. So the opportunity to go too deep is really difficult. Your legs are active. Super safe. So swim back through, place the hands, step back, take a flow of your choice. Feel free to add on a one-legged to intensify it. You do get to your down dog. I invite you to take about 5 deep breaths or so. Child's pose is always there. If a break is desired or if a sip of water is needed, I'm going to have some. Yeah, just holding the pose for 5 breaths. That's powerful, right? I chose to do this. It's not always easy, but I know the repetition, the studentship, I keep coming back to my mat is so beneficial to a healthy life. All right, inhale, lift your heels really high, bend your knees, step or hop to the hands. Let's all bring our feet together this time, all the way in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, hands to your heart, twisting to the right. Left elbow will hook outside of the right knee. Another hint, if you like, you can kind of use your right hand to sort of guide a better hook there, optionally. Otherwise, just sit back, push the top hand into the bottom hand, and again, revolve less from the neck. Your neck is a part of it. I don't mean to say don't use your neck. That's a great help, but let the twist start from stable hips and twisting the ribs. So you'll start to get, it's kind of the diaphragm area. It's this nice space of mobility. Returning to chair pose, inhale. Exhale, forward fold, shake that out briefly so we can start the second side with just as much energy. Cool, chair pose, friends, bend the knees, sweep the arms up. Exhale, hands to heart, twist to the left. If you hook right away, that's cool. Otherwise, a little hint, use the left hand on the leg and get a better bind if you want. Hands to prayer, left hand pressures into right. Sit way back. Let the head follow the conversation of the ribs. So if I was with you, I'd take my hands and I'd put them on the side, back of your ribs. I'd encourage you to keep your hips square and twist from that place. The ribs have so much space and power. Last breath here. We return to chair pose and then mountain pose. So stand, let the arms release. Shoulder circles, forward, up, back, and down. Let's do a few. So the expectation is such with twists that you can expect some discomfort to come up. Maybe even nausea comes up, right? There's a lot we work through in this. So go the other way with your shoulders. So to, expect the yoga practice to always feel easy. It's nice when it is, but there has to be also a prerequisite mentally that there might be moments that don't feel so good. Let's do a bind, hand behind the back, hands behind the back, intertwine your fingers, separate your feet pretty wide. Personally, I like to go really wide. Let the knees bend a bit so you can work your shoulders way onto your back, collarbones wide. Exhale, bend the knees, squeeze the low belly, hinge at your hips, make your way to the floor with your head, working your hands up and away from your tail. Now, if this is a bit much, this is where you could even use something as simple as a sweatshirt or a towel. If your hands don't bind very well together, just give a little more distance, hand to hand, and either hold onto a strap, a towel, and whatever you have at your disposal. And gently release your hands, shake out your shoulders a couple of times first. And Malasana pose, to take a moment to swivel heels in, toes out, and we're going to sit all the way down. Your heels might come up in the air. That's okay. If you're able to keep them down, that's okay too. One wouldn't be right or wrong, right? You have to listen to your hips. It shouldn't be screaming at you. It should just be a nice stretch, somewhere you can spend some time. Hands to the heart. Narrow the knees in towards your elbows to widen the pelvic floor back. So that alignment cue is going to help with our apex pose today. The knees hug in. When the knees squeeze into your elbows right now, you'll feel more of a tonus into this inner thigh area, your adductor muscles. Then from that hug in, notice, can you widen your butt more? A little bit of a stick it out feeling, if you will. It'll give you more spring, more power. Place the hands, step or hop back, downward dog. You can take a chaturanga flow if you wish. We'll meet in down dog. Cool. On the inhale, lift your right leg straight up again. Exhale, crescent, place your foot between the hands. Inhale, sweep the arms forwards and then up. Exhale, hands to heart, twist to the right. Hook your elbow outside your knee, just as I saw it in the seated chair. The right hand might help get a better hook if you want to kind of hold the thigh down, hooking the elbow even more effectively. Push down right into left, twist from the ribs. Gaze little by little towards the sky, but not at the cost of the neck health. The left foot, the back one, might want to be dumping out to the side right now. So work both inner and outer edge of the back left foot. Left leg is strong, is basically what I'm trying to get at. Returning to crescent, engage your core. Inhale, rise. Warrior two, spin the hips out and the arms wide. Okay, reverse warrior, straightening the front leg as you go. Triangle pose, exhale, tee the arms, reach forward and down, and now we'll stay here for about 5 breaths. Rotating open through the chest. Now I know your legs are straight, and the situation is certainly different than Malasana, but the same principle of alignment can be significant here that I just touched on. Even though the legs are in extension, hug the legs towards each other, hug the midline, and use that to embrace more power into the upper thighs and have more width in the pelvic floor. Then the spine can space itself out more easily as you're in triangle. To stand back up, push through the legs, bend your knees if you need to, inhale, rise. Put your hands on your hips, turn your right toes in so your feet are parallel. Inhale, root the legs, rise the heart. Exhale, forward fold, standing wide-legged forward bend. You can touch the earth. Shake it out. A moment to go upside down. If an inversion is part of your practice, I'm not going to guide any specifics with that. So please be really confident that what you're doing is safe in your own environment without a teacher present. Otherwise, honestly, you guys, inversions in yoga don't have to be handstands and headstands. Just the heart being above your head is inverted. So you're doing an inversion already. So any progression from there is really just for play and then progression. All is worth it. Now, we're going to stay in our fold, or come back to it if you left it, and walk over to your left foot. And hold the ankle with both hands, and try to keep your hips square. Don't let the right one dip down, and then pull belly button towards left femur, left thigh. And we'll switch, inhale, center, exhale, walk over to the right foot, and repeat the same thing. Get a grip with both hands. Think less about head to foot. Think more about orientation of your belly button to right thigh, and then the head follows, just like the twists. And Chaturanga, so you're already at the front of your mat. Turn the right toes forward as you set the hands. Step back, either just push to down dog, like I'll do right now, otherwise take a Chaturanga flow in between sides. Sweet, left leg straight up, three-legged down dog, we call it. Exhale, step through, Crescent Pose. Get a long stride, inhale, arms to sky. Exhale, hands to heart, twist to the left. Again, maybe you first land right in it, or use the left hand on the outer leg. Use a twist of the belly button to the left to emphasize a nice good hook of the elbow. Right leg is really important here. I'll try to show a little better. Sometimes the right foot, we tend to sickle to the pinky toe side when we're so focused on the front body. So basically, just use that right big toe more. You'll get more energy in the legs and more stability. Last breath here. We'll inhale, standing back up into crescent, and exhale, spin to warrior two. Arms reach out. Right away, reverse warrior, and as you do that, extend your front leg towards straight. Keep that triangle pose, tee the arms, hug the legs towards your midline as you lightly touch your ankle or the earth. Twist the heart and chest more open. And again, hug the midline. It's not easy, right? The further apart your legs are in any given yoga pose, the harder it is to hug your midline. Just like life, the more we're spread out with stuff to do, it's hard to find our center when we're super busy, super spread thin. And so all the more effort, it's easy. When the legs are together, that's an easy place to squeeze them in. To find that in triangle is powerful, sustainable. All right, exhale, bend the knees a little as needed. Inhale, stand all the way up. Again, let's put the feet parallel to the long edge of the mat. And then turn your toes out for goddess. Let's do more of a chill one. Lean forward, put your hands on your knees, so it's a bit more restful. The toes are turned out to the angles, 45 degrees, right and then left. Now lean into your hands. These are horseshoe hands, little horseshoes. Please try this, staying wide with the knees. Push them forward into your hands. So it's the same principle. I'm just having you try it in a lot of different planes to help you understand it. As the knees push into your hands, you're gonna get more tonus in your adductor muscles. Use that to push the hips wider and more back. Open the pelvic floor. Don't tuck it. Open it. Yeah. Keeping that, reach the arms out in front of you long. Bend the knees more until you can easily touch the ground. First go really light and then take the hands flat. Lean forward and back a few times. Crawl the hands a little more forward so you have some space. This is cool, working a pump, a lift to the hips, otherwise little hops. Little hops or big hops towards a frog handstand. Now here's the technique, you guys. The legs repeat the same action. So even as they're in the air and wide, they're still hugging center and widening the hips. Hugging center and widening the hips. Hugging center, widening the hips. I do struggle with talking this much and handstanding at the same time. All right, let's do frog pose. So you keep wide, separate the knees wide on your mat. So this is a much more restful pose, okay? Turn your toes out. And so it's different than child's pose. The calves, the shins are parallel back there. Knees are as wide as you wish, and the toes turn out left and right. Elbows can come to the ground. If you have a bolster, you can lay on that. That's how we make this more of a restorative pose. But if you push your hips more forward, it will lighten the load a little bit if it starts to get too intense for you. Just come out a little bit by pulling the heart forward. Or bringing the knees less wide, bringing them closer together. If you crave a little intensity, use your exhales to actually sit more back. There's a couple of approaches here. You could be really yin right now. If that's what you need, I invite you to be empowered by that. Just chill. Otherwise, work the same actions I've been teaching you. Push the knees down into the floor, right? Which in this orientation is still hugging the midline. That didn't change. The knees push down, your inner thighs will get more tone, and then you can open the pelvic floor more up. It would tip the sacrum more in, tailbone on the rise. And you could do that as a pulse. You can activate it and then soften it. Sit into it more. Activate it and soften it. And like any good deep stretch, we try to hold on about 30 seconds to really actually receive the benefits. So we'll do about 4 more breaths here. But if you do need to come out earlier, that's okay. This is a pretty intense one. Okay, coming out. It's a little tricky, but come up to the hands first and let the hips come forward. Then bring the toes together, child's pose style, and push with the knees to come back to all fours. Reorient yourself more normal on your space, turning to the front edge of your yoga mat. And just do some movements here. Maybe a little tucking and rounding. Move the ribs, move the hips. And as you keep going, you guys, notice the breath. Whew. The breath is so indicative of what our nervous system is going through. And when it gets short and tight, we just know, ooh, okay, I need to come back and soothe and almost again like what we would do if we were holding a baby to calm it down. Doing the movements in your practice that break up the tension, break up the anxiety. Okay, let's go to downward dog. Curl toes, lift hips. And from here, bend your knees, step or hop to your hands. Okay, the feet can be however you like. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, take a fold. Inhale, stand up, reach the arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, arms by your sides. Good. Hover the right foot in the air, bending your knee to a square. Okay, that's just step 1. Balance. If you want to use a wall or if you have a couch or something nearby, do it. Right? You're in your home, you can do what you need. Then from here, we're going to reach for your knee with your right hand, open the knee out to the right and the left arm out to the left. Yeah. Now let's bring a little more action to it. Beyond the shape, push your knee a little forward, believe it or not. And as the knee pushes forward, let the cheek of the glutes widen back. Lean more forward into it. Open the pelvic floor more, and then bow and open the ribs forward and up. Figure 4, take that ankle, cross it over the over the left knee. Bend the knees and sit back. You stay here, this is cool, use a couch, use something to balance. Otherwise, we'll go a little deeper, working to touch either blocks or the floor. Wherever you're at, put your right hand on the medial side, the inside of your right knee. Push the knee forward into your hand now and try to widen the flesh of your butt more back. Glutes open versus this, a big tuck under. Use the orientation, knee forward, hip back. Inhale, rise to standing for mountain pose. Softly release the right foot to the ground. Try not to bang your joints, just a nice little release. Hover the left foot in the air, left side right away. So good for the brain. Go left, go right. Hold the knee with the left hand and open it out. It's like opening a book with your body. Arm to the right arm right, left arm left, leg left. Yeah. So it can start off kind of more stacked, right? Kind of more vertical. Now let's get more dynamism to it. So the hand on the medial side of the knee here, push the knee forward, even lean forward, and we call that a fiesta flare. It's a lift of the back of the glute. So it's more, there's more to sit into, there's more power, makes the balancing easier. Take cross ankle over, figure 4, squat down. Use any props you need, maintain your balance. There's nothing wrong with holding onto a chair. If you want to go deeper, you could. Maybe touch a block or the floor if you want. And take the left hand to the medial side of the left knee. Push the knee forward into your hand. And the knee actually pushing forward. It'll make the opposite of what you're used to. When the knee goes forward, sit the hips more back. So you get really deep into this lower part of the glute, upper part of the hamstring. It's really wide. It's cool stuff. Inhale, come up super slow. Exhale, mountain pose. Right away, dancer's pose. Right palm up. Kick your right foot up into your hand, holding the inside of the foot. Narrow your knees. Hips are going to stay square now. Inhale, left arm to the sky. Stay here or hinge at your hips and kick back. Yeah, don't overarch the low back. Consider the rooting back of the hips and the rising up of the heart. That's the space maker. It's the waist maker versus a crunch of the low lumbar. No way. Exhale. As you inhale, come back to the center for your mountain pose, and right away, switch sides, keeping the brain active. Open your left palm, kick the foot up, hold the inside, inhale, right arm rises, stretch long. Exhale, kick back, hinge forward. You don't have to go very far to be successful. The tricky thing is keeping your hips square. So if you locate in your brain your inner left thigh, and you lift from that, then it's so much easier to keep the hips in a happy place and play with more depth. Last breath here. Then we'll inhale, come back to mountain pose. This time we will take a short break in mountain pose. Pause and allow yourself to be still. Grounded through all four corners of both of your feet. And then out of that, rising the skull, the crown of the head, up to the sky. Cool. Right on track. So here we go. Bend the knees a little. Again, figure four, right away this time. Right ankle over the left knee, okay? Again, hinge at your hips. I'm gonna teach you how to stoke your motor. So bring the hands to the shin, and then take the right hand to the right heel. Right hand to hold the right heel. Can you guys see me? Yeah. Left arm is out to the side for balance. It can move around a little. You have to stay leaning forward into it. Take the leg off the knee and pull the heel in towards your pelvis. And now widen the space of the glutes behind you. Widen and open the pelvic floor. Yes, good start. Inhale, center. Exhale, right foot down. It's going to sequence in a moment. It'll make sense. Let's do the left side though. Cross ankle squat. It's about butt power, really. Left hand to the heel. Right arm for balance. Just pull the heel in. We're not going to straighten the leg yet. First, I want you to learn how to orient your pelvic floor for power. Open, narrow the left knee forward, widen the left sitting bone more back. Inhale back to center. Exhale to release. Let me demonstrate this super duper quick. It's the same start, but instead of the heel, you're going to hold the top of the foot, or some of you guys might prefer a peace finger hook of the toes, right? You're probably more used to that. Same start. I stoke my motor. I get my pelvic floor on board. Then I go to extension. My leg goes out. I hope I'm at an angle. And you really get big in the space of the body. Let's try it. It's more fun to do than watch. Bend your knees, cross the right ankle over. Hinge at the hips. You can either do peace finger, big toes, or just hold the top of the palm, top of the foot. Don't go right away with the leg. First, stoke your motor. Left arm out. Then extension. The right knee points more forward. It's not toes up on this one. It's toes to the front of your space, thumbs back and wide. Yeah. Good. It's a tricky one. Inhale, rise up. Exhale to release. Whew. Take your arms by your sides. Rotate your elbows more out so your palms face behind you, and move your ribs a little side to side before we go left side. Gliding and upward like a helium balloon rising up and away from earth. Left side, bend the knees, cross left ankle over right. Again, either peace finger hook, big toe, or from the top, hold the top of the foot, the toe pads and the mounds. First, it's the pelvis, stoke your motor. Right arm balances you, hips stay back and wide. Thighs have to root, then wave the leg out. Yeah, sit more back. Lean way forward and go pelvic floor wide. Eventually what you guys will learn, if you stick with me, is we start to jump here. That's the dynamism of it. There's a power in the knowing that we've got our own back. Inhale, center. Exhale to release. Pause. Catch your breath. All right, full eagle. Let's go a little more narrow with our feet to start this one. Inhale, swoop arms to the sky. Exhale, right arm below your left. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, cross your right leg over the left. Hovering the right foot is pretty challenging. If you want to touch the ground with your big toe, that's cool. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, touch and curl, crunch and curl. Elbows directionally move down. Nesting eagle. We'll be here for 5 breaths. If this is a little much on your back for any reason, please practice the more upright version of eagle. Either way, you're good. Breathe fully into the ribs. Due to the bind in the arms, you can really play with that expansive, opening, broadening. Inhale, start to rise up if you went down. Unravel, so simple. Inhale, arms to the sky. Exhale, left side. Left arm below the right arm, crisscross. Bend the knees on it, exhale. Lift the left leg on an inhale. Again, don't be shy to use the ground for a little bit of a kickstand. Inhale, lengthen, stay upright, or exhale, curl, nesting the eagle. Really, again, think not just armpits now, but the reason eagle's so good is your inner thighs get the compression in the lymph nodes. Inhale, slowly begin to rise. Unravel, arms to the sky, inhale. Forward fold as you exhale, hinge at your hips, reach down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step the left leg only to the back of your mat. Left leg back. Low lunge, put the back knee down. Scooch the right foot even more forward, and you're gonna go really wide. I want you to get really into your hips, lower to your elbows. If the floor is too far away, if you happen to have a block, that's helpful. Otherwise, any stack of books or something in your house, a pillow, give yourself some lift. And we'll do about 5 breaths here. I invite you to be a little more yin, a little softer. The animal's getting in the way. So cute. All right, this one's called leg breaker. So you rise up, left hand stays on the ground, or on a yoga block, makes it a little easier. Turn the right toes to the diagonal. First, let the right knee go out. You can even use your hand and encourage, that's external rotation. It's really nice lifting the ribs. Maybe reach for the back foot by way of bending and grabbing. Sort of like dancers, but you're crisscrossed. Then once you have that, depending on your flexibility, you might go down to the left elbow. I'm not going to because my quadricep feels a good enough stretch here, but if you like to go down, you could. And there's a lot of cool things happening right now. You're getting right hip external rotation, left quadricep stretch, and twist. Unlike dancers, you're not trying to make the left foot kick far back. In fact, you're trying to close the gap of the knee, trying to make the angle of the left knee more acute, more narrow. And we're gonna switch legs by way of downward dog, so just come on out. Right foot for left, we'll go right away to expedite time here. And first, just the runner's lunge, okay, not the twist yet. Keep the left toes more parallel if you can, working elbows to a block or the floor. Getting a little more of the liquid aspect of the yoga, the yin, similar to that first child's pose when I was inviting you to soften the ribs so the breath isn't too intense, or I shouldn't say too intense, but too tight, too grasping. There's a balance every time. Super good, friends. We'll rise up to the hands. You're gonna block on the right hand. We'll make it easier to get the back leg. Turn the toes out first. Just emphasize the external rotation. In order to use the left arm, straighten your arm so the belly stays long. Okay, and optionally reach back for that right foot, pulling the heel towards the glute and twisting. In the right hand, the lower you go, the harder it will be. So if you want to go to your right elbow, you could. We slowly release, returning to the first side, same pose of a low lunge. Left foot back, right foot forward, okay? This time put your hands inside the right leg. okay? Inside the right leg. Lift your right heel again. Remember that technique? To get your right shoulder lower. Yeah, get it lower. Put the right hand on the ground. Yeah, this is cool. Airplane if you want, a little more challenge. Otherwise, I'm going to show you guys how to do hurdler's pose. So the right foot is going to kickstand off to the side. Your chin will lower and the left leg will lift. And a key tool of this, you guys get it, give it a go, is your knee. The medial side of the right knee is narrowing. It's pushing down into your arm so that as you lift, the butt widens up. So that's why I had you do all that butt widening stuff. Yeah, and if it doesn't work today, no stress, good. And coming back to down dog to switch sides, right for left. And I'd like to add a little more on this side so it feels a little more all levels. We got a little crazy there, didn't we? So let's lift the heel, everybody. Get underneath there as much as you can. Let the left heel come back down. Now, before even doing the pose, just try the principle of alignment, because that's all you need. You don't even have to do the full pose. Push your left knee into your shoulder and try to widen the left sitting bone more. And that's a huge stretch. If you want more, start with the leg, kick it out to the side. It's like crow pose, one-legged. Chin to the ground, right leg to the sky. And if the right leg doesn't lift today, that's okay. Work on the principles. That will get you eventually into the lighter formation versus forcing a pose to happen on yourself, right? It's the principles that lead to success and the laughter too. Come back to center. Let's go to all fours and let's actually take the pressure off the wrists for a moment. Let's sit on our buns. Let's go all the way to the hips. Extend your legs out. Use your hands to widen the base, widen your pelvic floor. Flex your feet up. Use your hands by your hips to stretch your spine up. Staff pose. Do a little toe spread for yourself, all 10 toes wide. On the inhale, reach your arms up. And try to hinge at your hips so tailbone reaches back as you go forward. You don't have to touch your feet. If you do, cool. If you're just holding your ankles or knees, that's fine. Once you find the full pose, let's do a half lift. Keep your hands wherever they are. Inhale, come out of it a little bit. Stretch the arms straight, make the spine even longer, stick the butt more back, and then fold again. And we'll stay here for a few breaths. Anytime you feel like you're getting a little too hunched or there's any kind of weird pain starting to grow, I invite you to do another half lift. It just really helps to reset the hips, and it helps to make sure that in our forward folds, we're not over slouching the low lumbar of our spine, which is such an important area to keep healthy in its natural curve. Inhale, slowly begin to make your way up. We'll lay down on our backs. You can go any way you like. I'm just going to scooch my hips forward and lay back. Hold your knees. Do a little sway side to side. Let me get a little closer so I have a better view. So final deep hip openers here. There's a lot of different levels of this, so you take it with your best intelligence. So left leg out, right knee in, wind remover. Do some ankle rolls with your right foot. Yeah, and then we're gonna make it a half happy baby. Okay, half happy baby. So flex your foot, reach for it with both hands, and then put the left hand on the left hip. Try not to pop that guy up too much, and then pull the knee down to the right side of your ribs. It's a half happy baby. Narrow the right knee in towards your right side ribs and widen the butt into the ground. Yeah. Now maybe straighten the right leg. It would go up to the diagonal right of you. Maybe. It's a pretty big stretch. Cool. Same on the other side. Softly release. We'll start with wind removing pose. An alignment principle that'll really help for safety and happy hips here is try to get the right thigh rooted versus popping up. And what helps with that is untucking your tailbone and actually arching your low back a little bit so the low lumbar actually has some space. It's not flat on the floor. Cool, let's do a half happy baby. You can kind of use both hands. I like to at least to get it up there. Pulling down, and then right hand on the right hip to encourage that to stay rooted. It's gonna wanna pop up. And there's a push-pull here. you're not just pulling down, you're also pushing your foot up into your hand. Then narrow the left knee towards your body and widen the left butt cheek. Untuck the pelvic floor, let the belly actually get longer here versus shorter. Keeping that, maybe straighten the leg up to the diagonal left corner. Woo. Cool. Butterfly pose, laying down. Take the bottoms of the feet together. Allow the knees to widen out. With your hands, you can even massage the hips, the groin area for a moment, really getting personalized into understanding and knowing your own tissues. Yeah, maybe even up into the waistline or the ribs, self-massage. Yeah, and then the arms can relax, and we enter Shavasana here, either keeping butterfly legs, or if you prefer, stretch out one leg at a time. Place something over your eyes, a hand towel, a t-shirt, if it helps you to let out the light and let in a little more self-awareness on the inside versus the outside. Let the energy settle. Give yourself permission to completely unwind. You deserve it. We're just barely here at the end of the hour, so I'll be shifting this to not record and to play some music. If you have a few more minutes, I encourage you to stay here. It's such an important time to let your nervous system reset. There's no rush to hop up and turn off your device. Thank you for being here, being in the practice with me and with each other. From my heart to yours. Namaste.